everybody, and welcome back to Dicing with Death.
Leon, you're lost amidst the brambles and the darkness. I think eventually you bed down for the night. Sack full of silver, but that doesn't do anything to ease the hunger in your guts. You sleep for what seems like only a few minutes before you're awoken to the sound of a woodpecker going crazy in the trees above you. And streams of light coming in through the brush.
Stupid woodpeckers. Grumble, grumble. Alright. Leon slowly gets up. Looks around. Feels the hunger in the pit of his stomach. And wonders to himself if he is well rested enough to memorize spells.
I don't think you are. I think even if you get a few more hours rest, I don't think you can memorize spells while you're starving. I don't know. Maybe.
Whatever. That's fine. I've been up late.
I think right now you prioritize food over.
Yeah. I mean, I finished the rest of my food yesterday, so right now it's only been like 10 hours without food.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine then. So you did have a ration yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday is the day I used up my last ration.
Okay. So you had an active night. So if you rest for a few more hours, you can memorize spells.
Okay, I'll rest for, toss and turn and eventually get my shit together. Yes, okay. So I will rememorize my exact same complement of spells: 2 Fist of Stones, a Chill Touch, a Shocking Grasp, and a Taunt. Okay, and I think the only one of those that has a material component is the Taunt spell.
Correct.
Okay. So, I have a full day to kill. The next ferry should be around tomorrow morning. Leon knows that he's probably gonna get into some trouble should he go into town. So he's gonna disrobe his monk robes now that the night has passed. And leave them unceremoniously in the middle of this guy's field, wherever I was sleeping.
You're not in a field. You remember you tried to find an orchard and got lost in the dark.
Wherever I am, I just litter bug it up and leave my clothes on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Leon's not very eco-friendly.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay, the population is low. The Earth will survive.
Probably organic. It'll decompose.
Yeah. Fine. Well, I guess I'm just gonna wander for the day, looking for food to steal out of fields or off trees.
Yeah, you're not in fields. This section of wood or whatever isn't worked. And some brambles. So what's your approach going to be?
I'm going to head downhill looking for the river. If I can find the river, I can go upriver until I hit town.
Yeah, it's not entirely obvious which way is downhill. I mean, like right now you're in some small little gully nestled in some brambles. So you could follow that gully down, but you don't know if that necessarily leads to the river. So I think you follow it down and it doesn't. And you realize you're probably going to need a better approach.
It's all right. I'll climb the hill then on either side of the gully, whichever one, doesn't matter. And then just look for some high ground to try and get a view of the river.
Yeah, you're not immediately able to get above the brush.
It's okay. I have the day to make my way back to town somehow. I'm not too afraid of getting forever lost, so I'll just make my way.
You are mechanically lost right now.
Yeah.
Like, that's a thing in second edition. There's a percentile roll to get hopelessly lost.
Yeah.
You're hopelessly lost.
I'm hopelessly lost, but I'm not.
You need to do something to get unlost.
Yeah.
And so, so what are you prioritizing? Are you trying to find where you are? Are you trying to find food?
So priorities first are make sure I can get to the boat. I can go if I go hungry for a few days. That is an acceptable loss. But if I miss this boat, that is an unacceptable loss because then I'm trapped here, surrounded by my enemies. So if I can't find the river, I will look for the highest piece of ground around me and then ascend that terrain.
Okay.
So
let's make
I'll
a
climb a
perception
hill.
check to see if you can either find the river or a good vantage point.
Sure. Ooh, not so much.
Now, I think you spend the first half of the day wandering around the brush, the countryside. Like I said, you initially like try to follow the gully down, thinking that downhill will lead you to the river, and it doesn't, and it just makes the views even more obscured. And then you try and find some time, getting to some high ground, get a better view, and you climb these like little hills, but you find yourself in some foliage that you can't quite see over. And you see little other signs of life, and there's sounds of birds, but no men or worked land.
Uh-oh. This is not so great. So... kind of just lost out in the wilderness without a view of the river.
Yep. So you're stopped. So it's around midday. Stomach gives a grumble, telling you it's lunchtime. But
I guess, is there a hill or a mountain nearby? Like, even if it's 5 miles away.
yeah, you can see no mountains.
Mm-hmm.
The hills you've spotted are small and haven't given you much vantage other than more thickets.
Well, that's not great. Can I make an unproficient direction check?
Yeah,
Can I
do
gauge
that.
the
Yeah, do that. The sun's now up in the sky.
29 minus 5 is 24.
Yeah, so from the sun you're able to sort out, that way's north, oh, that way is south. Shit. And you figure you must have you left the farm probably northwest, thinking you might hit another farm or orchard soon, and wound up just kind of wandering into the wilderness. And then when you tried to then you bed down for the night, and when you tried to find your way back to the river, you just wandered yourself further north, away from the river.
Ah, shit. All right. Well,
So
I turned
yeah.
south, and
So you were able to sort out which way is south, and you imagine if you keep trekking this direction, sometime around nightfall you'll hit the river. But
Leon grumbles to himself about how he's going to go hungry all day because he was just being lazy and stupid when he woke up, and mutters to himself about how he never got lost in the city. Stupid outdoors with the stupid wide expanses of land and no observable landmarks from every possible point in town. Who would design? Of course, no one designed stupid gods. Just cursing himself and the gods for their stupid design of the world while he makes his way to the river.
So as it's getting towards nightfall, Leon, bitter and hungry, you haven't yet found the river, but you do see some smoke billowing to the south.
Rumble and keep going southward, keeping an eye out for buildings.
The small stream of smoke appears to be off to your right.
I should be further away from town, I'm thinking to myself. That's not the way I want to go, but... the dollar signs start appearing in Leon's eyes. Maybe there's something to take? No, it's ridiculous. Let's go left. Let's stay away from that. That could be... I don't know. It's an adventure lead. There's this smoke off to the right. Okay. All right. Leon, even though he knows better, turns away from his primary destination to investigate this.
Does Leon know it's good for him? So you head towards the smoke.
Yeah.
Looks to be the smoke of maybe a small cook fire or a chimney. As you start heading in that direction, you come up against a creek, which appears to run alongside the direction you're heading. And you follow this brook through the brambles to a small clearing. And in this clearing is a little cabin out here in the wilderness, and smoke billows from a red brick chimney.
Leon's a little disappointed. He was hoping it was like a campsite of some brigands that he could like intimidate and drive off and steal all their money.
Nope.
Well, maybe it's... I've come this far, I might as well investigate. The curiosity's getting the better of him. He knows he should turn back to town, but let's just go knock on the door. Double checking to make sure that let's just put this sack of silver in my actual backpack.
I don't think your backpack can fit all of this stuff.
God, all right. Well, sack of silver over his shoulder.
Yeah, I don't know how much stuff you have in your backpack, but...
I think my backpack right now just has my spare set of clothes and the sword handle and my spell book.
All right. In that case, you can probably fit silver in there as well.
Okay. I'll shove everything in the backpack and find the door to the house and give it an...
Yeah, there's a little brass knocker, but you ignore it and knock on the door.
Mm-hmm.
A crotchety feminine voice answers from the other side. Who is it? Bartholomew, are we expecting visitors?
A traveler, ma'am. A wanderer.
Just a moment. And the door sort of opens. And you see a wizened old woman with a little pink bandana over her head. Long hooked nose and a wrinkled face, and she looks up. Oh, hello, young man. What are you doing way out here?
Leon stumbles for a lack of words. I'm looking for the river.
Well, if you're looking for fresh water, that brook is mine. And
The brook.
Just kidding. The river is just a few hours south of here. If you follow the creek, can't miss it.
Right. Of course.
If you reach the ocean, you've gone too far.
Yes. And then I just take a left at the river to get to the village, right?
Depends which village.
The village with the dock? Where the ferry boat comes?
She nods slowly. Did you see any chickens in my yard?
I slowly shake my head.
Damn trow's always stealing my chickens. While you're here, would you be a useful boy and fetch me my chickens? Can't have been nabbed far.
I look behind me. Do I see any chickens anywhere?
You don't.
Excuse me, ma'am. I don't have time to help you look for fictional chickens.
Oh, they're real as anything. She
Well,
whispered, if you help me find them, we can cook one up and eat it for supper. Don't tell the others, though.
the other who?
The other chickens.
Leon's wondering if this is the crazy old woman in the woods who's going to teach him some spells. He tries to look behind her. Did you say there was a man behind her somewhere?
There's not a man. There's a crow in the perched inside of the hut.
Right. This is the gears are turning in his head, and he's like, "Is this some sort of crazy wilderness witch woman?" maybe she could help me. So I think Leon says aloud, if I find your chicken, perhaps you can help me with something else.
I think the only thing you need right now is a full belly.
A full belly and the knowledge to read magic.
Magic.
The language of magic.
I'll tell you it's magic. My chicken soup.
I don't know if this is
tastes
Ryan.
like heaven.
If this is like crazy Ryan mountain woman or just like crazy mountain hag. I can't.
Hey, at least she has her clothes on.
Yeah. At least Porvin was a dude. All right. Sure. What's the chicken's name?
Well, you shouldn't name chickens you're going to eat. But the ones we're not going to eat are Heinrich, Ulrich, Sven, Chester. How many more chicken names do you need?
One more.
Svetlana, Ingrid.
That's fine. That's fine. Sven! Sven! Oh, Sven! What noise do chickens in? Cluck, cluck. Cock-a-doodle. Sven!
You cluck around in the little clearing for a little while. I don't know, a minute or two. There don't appear to be chickens, but there are signs that there would have been chickens here. You see a small little a coop off to one side of the clearing.
Leon's not. I'm not looking around in the dark for chickens for this old woman. Fuck it. I follow the creek to the river.
Towards evening.
No, the crazy old woman can find her own
chickens. You cluck for a minute or two, and she comes out with like a flute and begins walking towards you. And I think that's about when you're like fed up. You're like, I'm done. I'm not looking for chickens.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I say nothing to the woman. I just walk away. This is the moment of embarrassment that Leon hopes to leave behind. For a moment,
she's babbling. You hear her babbling something about using the flute to like lure out the chickens or something. As you leave her standing there with the little yellow exclamation point above her head. Quest not accepted. And you continue heading south.
All right, I'll take a left at the river and make my way back to the village.
So shortly after dark, you stumble your way to the riverside.
Oh, thank God.
So make your way out of the brambles down this rocky shore to the rushing river. Sure, she said you were able to follow the creek bed to the river.
I'll take a left at the river and walk up along the banks, although preferably not in like the muddy, sandy bit. But
make a
adjacent
Constitution check.
I can do that. Ooh, too shy.
Tired and hungry, you're not able to force march through the night. I think you like slip on a rock on the bank of the river and you fall and you hurt yourself and you're just like, fuck it, I'm hungry, I'm tired, I'm not making it any further tonight.
All right, I know that the riverboat comes early in the morning, so I'm gonna camp right by the edge of the river.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any camping supplies. I don't have any tools to make a fire. I have my water skin, a dagger, a knife, a broken sword, and a bunch of silverware. So I'm ready to host a dinner party. I'm just not ready to...
Just no dinner.
Right. I'll use one of the silver goblets and drink from the river, you know. Mm-hmm. And then go to sleep, hoping to wake up with the first light of dawn. That's the goal.
Okay. How about a willpower check? Wisdom check.
Like it. Love it. Hate it. Worst. No. I oversleep?
Yeah, you oversleep. Yeah. I think you wake up and like the sun is already rising and you're like, shit.
Shit! All right. Swimming proficiency. I do not have a swimming proficiency. How deep does the river look?
It's a good sized river. Some 100 feet across.
Does it look like I could maybe walk up? Like, if I can I walk like 10 or 15 feet out of it and still be at my knees, or does it drop pretty quickly?
You could probably wade a little ways out into it.
Okay, I don't want to wade past my knees, but I'll wade as far out as I can where my knees are still at water level.
Mm-hmm.
And then look down and up the river to see if I missed the boat.
Roll a perception check.
No, God, another fail.
Yeah. You didn't see the boat.
Okay.
You don't see anything on the river. No docks, no town, no boats.
I will head back to the shore and jog upriver.
You can't really. There's not a path, right?
Okay.
It's a stony shoreline and a brambly wilderness.
Well, I will be making as much haste upriver as possible, as one can expect in this like open wilderness terrain.
Roll a perception check.
29.
Okay. You spot the ferry coming downstream.
Oh God! I start waving desperately from shore.
Roll a charisma check.
No, I want to get on the goddamn boat. Oh God! No. I yell from shore. I'll pay double, triple. Don't leave me in this godforsaken town.
There's a shout from the ferry. You there? What do you want?
I want on the ship. Let me on the ship. I'll pay triple.
Some look side to side. Can you swim?
No.
The ferry's like slowly passing.
Oh God, I start going up down river as quickly as I can. Do you have a little rowboat?
No.
God damn. Is there another stop downriver? How far is it?
The passengers are like gathering along the side of the deck to see the spectacle.
Oh God, this is embarrassing.
The crew member you're shouting at. Next stop's about 8 miles downstream.
Wait for me! And I will like peel away to head along. You know, if the edge of the river is difficult to pass through, I'll head inland a little bit to a more easy to walk along area. Like I will just try to run down the river, and if I have to go up into the land to get away from the edge, I'll do that too.
Okay. Are you trying to like push it or force march it or anything?
I'm just trying to like jog/run the 8 miles.
Okay. So I think that's is that strength or con?
Maybe even both.
All right.
The strength check is a 23. The con check, though, not so much. 15.
Yeah, so you're able to sprint for a bit, but not quite keep it up. And eventually, that afternoon, you find your way. I mean, you eventually see more farmland as you follow this river shore west. The river hooks a little bit north, but mostly stays west.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you wander through this farmland. Eventually, like stumble your way to a path of sorts, I guess, at least connecting the various farmhouses and leading generally towards the village proper.
All right.
And nestled at the confluence of two rivers sits this village.
Is there a ship near the village at all?
There are docks, many small boats.
But no river ferry.
Roll a charisma check. Retroactive charisma check. Did they wait for you?
Oh!
No, there's no ferry.
Oh!
It took you the better part of the day to
Yeah.
trek here. Yeah, there's...
Okay, but I know that the ferry comes every 2 days, right? The last place it goes down, comes back up, and then comes back down again. So it should be another 2 days for the ferry here, and at least I'm at the next village over.
Correct, yes.
So I will stumble around looking for a tavern/inn.
Yes, you can find the Two Rivers Tavern. It's so there's a small village collection on this north shore. You can see more across the river on the south shore, and then there's even a small bridge that leads to an island out in the river. And so you're sort of wandering around, getting acquainted with the village, and you find the tavern sort of across that stone bridge.
All right, I'll go hang out in the
river.
tavern.
Two Rivers Tavern.
Oh, thank God. And I'll just
At the very
step
least,
on
you're
in.
able to eat, drink.
I will eat, and I will ask if they have a place for travelers to stay for a couple of days.
Yes, indeed. Rooms are 3 silver a night.
Including food and board? Including food, I should say.
Meals are separate. Okay.
Three is 6, and I pull out a gold coin. No, I pull out 10 silver coins and set them on the table and say, I'm here till the next ferry. Will this cover me until then? The next ferry downriver.
Sure, for convenience's sake. Though I don't know how I feel about these medieval taverns setting up a tab for travelers.
Okay.
Certainly makes it more convenient from bookkeeping perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to pay it as I go along, but I just...
No, that's good. You can subtract 10 silver for 2 days.
Cool. I'm just gonna hang out here. I have all this loot in my backpack. For the first time in a while, Leon's not feeling too worried about people chasing him down. I think it's because he hasn't left a clear trail to where he is. You know, he was last seen in a village, and then he wandered through the countryside, and he feels it would be difficult for someone who's looking for him to have found him here, because he doesn't even know how he got here. He's lost, so nobody else can find him. So I think for the first time in a long time, Leon actually lets down his guard. He leaves his bag of silver with the sword under the bed, and he just hangs out in the common room. He's not a sociable fellow. He's only got 5 charisma, but I think he likes to be around people and hear them talk, and it just reminds him of home, the city. So he will be the dude who just hangs out in the common room by himself all day long.
Okay. So you arrive late afternoon and spend that first evening in the common room.
Yeah.
Okay. There's an old man by the fireside telling tales. A group of small children.
Leon will listen close.
Okay.
Is there any mention of discs?
Discs.
Secret hidden discs that have the word of the gods written upon them?
No.
No.
He's telling the tale of Sagoth Two Skins, a woman who he was equally at home at sea and on land, and sheds her skin and walks upon the earth, but once a moon.
With a half-elven baby in her body, in her belly.
Maybe. And a trove of pearls.
Yep.
Do you know what a pearl looks like, little Jimmy? But also, at the bar, someone who perhaps just pulled in on the ferry that afternoon is telling tale of the massacre at Willow Snatch, the next village over.
Leon listens from a distance.
Yeah, it sounds like a mad monk came through, murdered the town guard in cold blood, and then drowned another citizen. And actually, yeah, robbed the castle, or robbed the manor house, and you know what you did.
But they're calling him a mad monk.
At least this guy is.
Right, yeah. Leon smiles and nods to himself. Feels comfortable that he can sit in this room and not be noticed by this guy. At least not yet. Makes him feel safe. And he's willing to just pass the next 2 days until the boat shows up, unless something that smells of magic shows up before then. Because his primary goal is still to learn the read magic spell. That's what he needs.
Nothing smelling of magic aside from the old man's tales, but he wraps up into the night. And on to the next day. Where do you spend your time in the tavern?
Yep, in the common room the whole time. Doesn't step foot outside unless he has to go to a bathroom.
Okay. I think around lunchtime, a couple of fishermen come into the Two Rivers Tavern. And one of them looks over at you, sitting at the bar by yourself. And he takes stock of your countenance. And you see a look of recognition come over his face. And then the color drains. And maybe it's a good time for a break.
All right. We will see you guys on the other side of our break. Bye-bye.